great to see Adam Silver. What a week it's been.
Thanks, Rod. And by the way, I was at that rec center on Friday for that dedication, and I think that's what it's really all about. I mean, and the fact that your team here took time out at the busiest moment of their lives, you know, a practice day, to be at that rec center for that dedication just speaks volumes about this team and this organization.
We have to be nostalgic, I guess. I remember the days when you were at the start of this, the NBA coming to Canada, David Stern, commissioner at the time. Things have changed so much through the years. How proud must the NBA be of what's happened north of the border?
We're all incredibly proud, and I know I speak for David Stern as well, because as you said, I was there working at the league office 94, 95 when we began dealing with expansion here to Canada, and this is exceeding our wildest expectations. I mean, the fact now, not just this team is in the finals, but I think what is even more surprising and delightful, frankly, from the league standpoint, is the buy-in from all of Canada, not just Toronto, Ontario, but countrywide. I think I saw Game 1, they're estimating over 1 in 5 Canadians saw part of that game. Think about that. And so that to me is ultimately what it's all about, the fact that this game is impacting so many lives.
It gets loud in here, just wanted to let you know that in a second. So you know what's going on in Canada. We had a franchise in Vancouver, and I know you've talked that there is an expansion on the near horizon, but with what you've seen here and Montreal and what you know about Vancouver, could we someday see these cities position themselves perhaps as possible franchises?
I don't want to make any commitments, but I'll say that, as you know, when we expanded initially to Canada, we had 2 feet on the ground here. So all those years ago, we thought the country could support 2 franchises. And it was just unfortunate circumstances that led us relocating that team from Vancouver. But over time, we'd love to expand. I mean, as I've said previously, it's just not on the agenda at the moment. But I've heard from several cities in Canada, obviously also in the United States, who would love to see franchises. I'm sure at some point we'll start thinking about that again.
I know I only got a couple of minutes, and I got a lot to talk to you about. Load management became a big topic here with Kawhi Leonard obviously being an exception with his injury. Do you foresee this being a bit of an issue down the road with some other players? I know you've always said, the best players have to play so that the fans who pay the money want to see them. Are you worried down the road that there might be some franchises or teams who might also benefit from sitting players?
I'm not so sure if that's what the science will support. Again, as you said, Kawhi is an unusual circumstance because I don't see it as so-called load management. This is injury recovery. I mean, remember the prior season he only played 9 games. So we were in constant touch with the Raptors throughout the season because we monitor minutes. And to us, again, as I said, this was a very unique situation. If you look at the Warriors, for example, of course they've been in the finals for the last 4 seasons, and there was almost no resting with that team, in part because they don't believe in it. And actually, if you talk to the athletes, they think they got a rhythm if they sit too often. So again, I don't think Kawhi is looking back in the season and saying that's why I was successful. He would have traded being able to play the entire prior season for sitting more games this year. So we'll see, but we're constantly studying the science and the medicine, and if the case is that we have too many games, we'll look at it. But right now, I think the general length of this,
shortening the schedule.
I think, as I've said before, we'd consider doing different things with the season, mid-season tournaments, play-in tournaments. I think, but it's not just. Part of it is the potential injury issue for the players. The other is just to create the right amount of excitement for fans.
I know you love this game like no one else. What makes you excited most as the commissioner of the NBA right now?
Crowds like this. Yeah. Honestly, it's coming into Toronto, and again, I know your viewers know this. This has captured the country. So being here the last few days, just bars, restaurants, hotels, just walking on the street, the number of people who Jurassic Park, of course. I mean, that's what excites me the most, because we know, you're going to impact a certain number of lives of the people in the arena, but it's when you can have that broader impact, inspire people, get people to care about physical fitness, get them to want to strive to be great at whatever they do. That's what sport's really about.
You got it. That's what makes you a great commissioner. Adam, great seeing you.
Thanks
Welcome back to Canada.
Thank you so much.
I was going to give you some maple syrup this time, but I'll get you some later.
Thank you.
There you go.